Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Enjoy the Bounty of Planning with Tanisha Taylor. So I realized just as I was about to start that little ashy and I could use some moisturizer. So I went and got my moisturizer that came in the Estate cloth and paper box. I felt like it makes good sense, right? We're about to open our cloth and paper sub box. So this sub box is the August SubBox. And yes, I am recording this a little bit in September. We're actually at the end of the first full week of September. This box took forever to get to me. And so yeah. Anyway, I'm super excited that it's finally here and I finally get to open it and I finally get to start using some of the stuff. So I have watched a couple of other unboxing videos. So I did look at the sneak peeks from Cloth and Paper. So I do know what's in this box, but as always, it's just so much fun to open it and see it for yourself. So I'm just gonna move my coffee over just a little bit. And I'm gonna have a little sip. So as you guys know, on this channel, when we do the unboxings, we also do a setup. So because I already know what's in the box, I am also already prepped to do a little setup. So I'm gonna move this to the side while we unbox, and then when I do the setup, I'll kind of talk through what's happening here, okay? All right, so let's open her up. So I do not, as always, I say, I don't get the pen subscription, so there's never anything there. But let's just pull everything out and put this to the side for all of the garbage. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so okay. So this is just the little card that tells us what's in everything. So we'll just put that to the side. I am super excited about this. So I'm gonna start with this. There we go, we're just gonna make a lot of noise. So this is a cloth and paper everyday carry-all is what they're calling it. So it's a plastic pouch. It looks like it is, let's see, I would say it's probably 2 inches wide. So it's got snaps, it's clear, it has an inside pocket, which is this mesh, okay? And then an inside piece that comes out, and then another clear inside pocket that goes just the length of the bag. This little carry-all, you could put anything in here. You could put pens in here, obviously, notepads. You know, if you wanted to use it for makeup, you could do that. So this little kind of army green nylon pouch has one pocket that is longer than, it's like 2/3 the length of the bag. And then you have your one little pocket here. This also has snap closure. Same thing, you've got a net, kind of a mesh net pocket on the inside. One that's two-thirds the length, and then one that's 1/3 of the length, and then that's it, right? So that's super cute. You know, I feel like I haven't seen anybody put a Tombow in here. So let's just grab one. So they do fit. It will not lay flat, as you can see. It will fit inside if you're just gonna put one inside there. But they've very helpfully given us this package of highlighters. So, right, these are highlighters. Yes, they're highlighters. I said that and then I had to look at it to make sure. This is so exciting. So these are 6 double-sided highlighters. Let's grab that pen paper that comes in the box. There it goes. So this can be used to test pens. So it looks like these pens are, of course, the color names are not in English. Maybe we'll use Google Translate and see if we can figure out what those colors are called. All right, let's see. Ooh, okay, that is a really interesting pen tip. Do you guys see that? So the highlighter is coming in this arc, which gives you a nice way to do a nice line. You can also turn it to the side to get a nice thin line. So if you lay it flat on the paper, you're gonna get kind of that fatter line. And if you put it sideways, you're gonna get a thinner line and a little thicker line if you go corner, right? So that is super fascinating. Okay, so that's kind of like a green gray color. Which it looks like is kind of, they have like a sagey kind of color. Ooh, that's a really pretty brown, a really pretty coffee color. Okay, kind of a blue. Oops. Purple. Love a good purple. I used to use a purple, I used to have a purple ink for, I used to use a purple fountain pen and I had purple ink for it too. Maybe I'll go back to that. That looks like black. Or like maybe an army green. I don't know, it looks kind of black. And then a dark blue or gray. Okay, that's definitely green. And that is more of a dark gray. So that's a light kind of sage green. This is kind of looking sort of caramely on camera. In real life, it's a little bit more of a coffee color. And that's the blue, the purple, the green, and then like kind of a dark gray black. So I love colored highlighters. I am not one of those scholars though that uses highlighters to color code their research. So like some people, when they read, they use different highlighters for different projects or different ideas that they're trying to capture. I don't do that. I just grab a highlighter and I highlight. And so I love these because these look like they would be really cool. I kind of want to, though, I kind of want to test it in a book to see, because I feel like the true test of a highlighter is to use it in a book to see what you're going to get. So let's grab the nearest book to me, which is Monica Miller's Slaves to Fashion. And because I want to test the pen, but I don't want to necessarily confuse myself and think that I've highlighted something that might be important, I am going to highlight on the publication data page. Okay, so that is super dark, obviously. It does have some shadowing, so you are gonna be able to see that straight through the paper, which is unfortunate, but there you are. Let's see, there was kind of a lighter color. This might be more the kind of thing that you use like in your planner and not in a book. Okay, so this is the brown color, and then that sage color is probably the lightest two colors that we have. So we can see it works, whoops, sorry. It works good as a highlighter. Okay, but you can see that ghosting on the back. So Staedtlers are bigger pens and they do fit, no problem. Now I haven't used Staedtlers to write in my planner in quite a long time. So let's grab what I have been using and loving from this little pen box right here. I've been using these Color Studio black ink pens. I absolutely love them. This is the blue. I also have the green barrel. I have the khaki and the brown as well. But these are sort of your standard ballpoint pen lengths. So as you can see, they fit inside with plenty of room and no problem. Okay. Now I got those from the Cloth and Paper website. I also got these Uni Emot 0.4 fine pens. You can see those also fit in there. And I'll try to remember to mark which one I got. I can't remember if it was called like Storm or I can't remember what it was called, but look at how beautiful those are, right? Along with these highlighters, right? It's almost like a perfect match. Look at that, so complimentary. All right, let's stick those back in there. And we'll stick that in there. Okay. All right, so what have we got next? So let's go with these little page flags, which I know so many people were excited about these page flags, and honestly, so am I. So we saw on the preview or the sneak peek, these little noted ones. I did watch one of the happy hours where they talked about the fact that this was gonna be a set of 3. I don't think Ashley meant to say that on that, but it got said. And so I already knew it was gonna be a set of 3 and was already looking forward to that. Now that I see what the 3 are, oh my gosh, tell me these are not luscious. So you have this noted one, which I have to say, this noted one has it's white, but it has kind of like a blue cast to it, which I think you can kind of tell on this white paper that it's kind of got a blue cast. And then this is, I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be like some kind of something abstract. And then this last one is black and says, "Do not forget." And look at that. They're just all so pretty, aren't they? So gorgeous. I love a good page flag too, and these are such a great length. They are the kind of transparent product from Cloth and Paper, and so they are, but they're just super nice. All right, so the next thing, because you know, page flags and sticky notes are a scholar's best friend. So I am excited about this page, this notebook or pad of sticky notes. So these are the read or read, right? Sticky notes. Here you're gonna put your author, title, date, page number, thoughts. Now this is a very tiny space to put thoughts, but I would totally use this in a book that I'm reading, whether I'm reading it for research, or reading it for to teach a class. Like this one's at hand because I actually cited it in a class I was teaching. But like I would use this sticky note, put it in the front, right? And at the top it says read by, and then there's a place for a date. I probably wouldn't use that space necessarily, but I would stick this in the front. And instead of putting thoughts here, I would probably put like project title, right? Or if I was teaching, I was reading this book to teach, I would still use the date, the page number, and the class, right? If you're in class, I could see using this in the front of your book to be able to say, like, you know, the page numbers that you read, the date. You could either use the date that you were reading them, or the date if you had to present something in class, the date you have to present something in class, or the date that a chapter is due. Like, think about this as like maybe even an assignment task list, right? For a class that you are reading a book for, especially if you're a graduate student, where you could, that way you don't have to have your syllabus with you every time you read the book. So you would put like week 1, week 2, week 3, or if you're the kind of person that prefers to put the date in, right? Like, I know on my campus, I'm on week 3. Today is the 8th. So I would put 9/8, and I might put page numbers, you know, 15 through 40, because that's what's due in the class. And then if my professor has a title for the week, I might put that here, right? Or, for example, in my graduate class, my students have to do a thought paper. So I would suggest putting the date, the page numbers, and then write thought paper assignment here so that you know that you have to do an assignment here, okay? So that's how I would use these if I was a student. As a faculty member and a researcher, I would use these and put in the date, like today's date, the pages that I read, and the project that I'm reading. How I would use these, and I'm so excited. I'm totally looking forward to using it that way. This paper is kind of it's not white, it's has kind of a gray cast to it. It totally, Ashley said in either a sneak peek or happy hour video that this was kind of reminiscent of like the old library cards that used to be in the front of books. And she's absolutely right. I love this it's kind of like a newsprint paper is what it reminds me of for the paper texture and the paper color. So these are super cute. Cannot wait to use those. All right, we're gonna put that to the side and let's open our covers first. So this is a double set cover. So this embossed first cover, as a reminder, I get everything for the half letter. So this is embossed, it says novella. This cardstock feels so nice. It's so heavy. I could see using this for a page marker as well if you wanted to do that. This is a short piece written by one of the people who's on the cloth and paper team, from my understanding. But I just love, look at this. So you have, it says the lines between fiction and reality are fluid, setting our deepest inspirations into fruition. I love ocean pictures. I love the ocean. I try to go as many times as I can throughout the year. And so this is so beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, so we're just gonna put this to the side and use this. I'm probably gonna use this as the double dashboard just like this. All right, and then this is, which I'm actually not gonna open because I'm not gonna put it in my planner right now, because my planner right now, the baby is chunky. All right, so second to the last thing, and the thing that I am so excited about. So this is the Bibliophile bundle. And y'all, I mean, I've been a reader my whole life. I love to read. And so when it was sneaked that we were gonna get something that was reading focused, I was low-key looking forward to the bundle that was gonna be and what that was gonna mean. So I am so excited about this. I love that we get this quote in black on the white paper. And it says, that's the thing about books. They let you travel without moving your feet. And I love that. I love that down here at the top and the bottom, the smaller text just says Bibliophile, right? And it has 08 on the side, so that what you know is that this came in the sub box for the 8th month of the year, right? And I don't know if you guys have noticed that little detail that's on the bundles that we get are often numbered like this to let you know what month this came in. It's just one of those little details that Ashley and her team think about. So the first page, we've got this great cover, and then we've got grid paper for our spread. And then our next thing is the reading log. This reading log this puts me in mind of those summer reading logs. Did you guys do those when you were a kid, where you had the summer reading challenge at the local library, or maybe your school district did this? Anyway, this layout totally puts me in mind of those summer reading challenges. So this is 60 lines. Now, if you're currently in school, you're probably gonna fill up 60 lines, no problem. Like probably in less than a year if you're in school and you're using this to log the things that you're reading while you're in school, especially if you're in graduate school. If you are already done with all of that, you finished your master's and your PhD, and now you're working as a working scholar, filling up 60 lines probably isn't going to take you that long either. So, you know, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So now, if you write big, this is going to be a challenge. I write pretty small, but even still, these columns for the title and the author are a little tiny. So what I would probably do is just write the first part of a title. So like I would just write Slaves to Fashion here, and then Miller as the author, and then my start date, my end date, and a rating. Here are the way I would probably do this, because I don't draw stars well and never have. I would probably do like some kind of dot thing. So I would do 5 stars, you know, or 5 dots, and that's how I would know what my rating was for that particular piece, if I was going to use the rating. I also might not use the rating. I might do something else with that space. So the next section, we have grid paper that separates each kind of thing, which I kind of like. And then the next thing is monthly reads. So, so this kind of, now I understand what some of the other people whose videos I saw. So this is monthly reads. So it's January, and it's 2 months. So, excuse me. So it's January, so it's 2 months, and you know, so this is a column, this is a column, this is a column, this is a column, so we have a whole year. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, so forth to December. So we have lines here, and then a space here for you to, I guess, write in something else. This is something that I don't know if I would start it now, because now we're in September. Although I might, because in a second we're going to set this up and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this. Actually, I might use this and just start now, and then just take it through to August of next year of 2023. Because there's a place to write the date here. So I would just I'll probably just do that and keep going. So then we have grid paper again, separating to the next section. The next section is a book log section. So this section, you are writing the title, synopsis, author, genre, format, pages, and then you have date here, a column for pages, and then you have grid space for notes. Review. Now this is definitely more for fiction, right? So you have plot, characters, writing, overall, and where you're essentially, this is a rating system where you're rating this. So if you're reading a fiction book, this is going to be really helpful. If you're reading something for research, you're reading a theory book or a method book, right? I would actually probably just put some whiteout tape over plot and characters, and instead go with theory, method, or I might go with theory, data, right? And then still rank it, like rate it, right? Especially if you're using this to help you organize notes for something that you're writing. Because what this could help you do is figure out, is that theory book or article, does it give you enough of what you need to do the theory section of your own paper? Does it give you enough of what you need to do the methods, right? Does it, or to discuss the methods, right? Because we all read things that are like spot on, perfect match. This totally helps you in all the ways. And then we have other things that we might read that we're like, well, that was not helpful, right? Or it might be that it was helpful because it identified it identified the gaps in the research for you, and made more clear, more crystallized what the gaps are in the theory and the theory or method or data collection. So this is something that, you know, I might still use, because a lot of times when we read things, especially books, you know, we need a way to kind of think through sometimes whether or not that's helpful for the project that we're working on. Now, what I would do in this review section is I would actually write in my review why I'm reading this book, right? So if I'm reading this book for a particular project, I'm gonna write that, and then I'll probably note to myself that however I rated it over here is based on the purpose that I was reading it for. So it might not be that the theory, you know, if I filled in 2 bubbles on, you know, changed plot to theory and filled in 2 bubbles, maybe it's not great for this project that I'm reading, but overall, maybe the theory, you know, is great, or maybe it's not, right? So we have several sheets of the book log. So so we have several sheets of the book log. I also like that each sheet of the book log has basically note paper on the back. Now, I am not a fan of grid at all in any way, shape, or form. I am a dot grid person. I would either go dot grid or blank. I don't like grids, and I don't like lines. This is just too structured to me. And the grid, the graph paper, is like more structured even than just having lines. And so I'm just not a fan, but Ashley is, and I love the company, so I'm learning to accept it, but I don't like it. So the next section is an index. And so here we have moment in each box over here, which is blank, and then grid over here, and then oh, these are two-sided. Okay, so these are two-sided. So again, if you're reading scholarly work, you're reading theory-based work, I would still use this as an index, as another way to keep track of my notes. I would write my title up here. Now, when I do my notes and I teach my students to write their notes for their work, the thing I always tell people, especially my students, and I will give y'all the same advice, when you write your title information here or even up here on the book log, now on the book log, you're writing the information in separate spaces, but if you're reading for research, always do a full citation, right? Because there's nothing worse. We've all gotten caught, right? Where you write your notes and then you put your notes by your computer to now use them to write your paper, and you have incomplete source citation information in your notes. So now after you use the note, you have to go back, find the book, and do the full source citation. Honey, just save yourself some help, some energy, and some effort, and put a full source citation on your notes, right? So this one already has a place for you to write title and author. What I would do is I would actually write the full citation at the top. I would still fill out that information down here, but I would write the full citation up here, okay? Either up here, if it doesn't fit up here, or my handwriting, I'd write pretty small, so it'll probably fit up here for me. But if you don't, flip this over, write your full citation on the back of this note. Even if that's the only thing you write back here is a full source citation back here, do that for yourself, okay? Save your life, okay? On this index one, I would do the same thing. I would actually write the full source citation up here. Now, you're not gonna format it with like your hanging indents and stuff like that. You might not do that. I actually do, but you might not, right? But when I say write a full source citation up here, whatever your citation format that you're using for your research, if you're using APA, MLA, Chicago, or whatever, you're gonna write that full source citation up here in the format of the style guide that you are using, all right? And then that way, it helps you forever, okay? Especially those of you who are maybe in a master's who are thinking about going on to a PhD, those of you who are a PhD who are gonna go and, take on scholarly careers, right? As professors or administrators or what have you. When you write your notes, and you always write full source citation in your notes, you can go back to just the notes and write more stuff from that, right? So the notes that you used to write your dissertation become the notes that you used to write your first article. And you could go back just to the notes because you have everything you need on the notes. You have page numbers, you have thoughts, you have feelings, you have concerns, right? But you also have a full source citation in your notes. So that is what I would suggest for how I would use the index. Now I would also use the index, and I would write in the moments box, I would probably write, the central, I would probably write like either theory, method, data, findings, conclusions, right? And then final thoughts. Or I would do thesis, right? So whatever the thesis and main points are for the author, what they're saying their thesis and main points are, I would write that. I would write thesis, main points, and then I would write them out here as direct quotes. And then theory, and I would write out the theory that the author is presenting and probably include like a central quote or something like that. Method, same thing, central quote. And then data, findings, conclusions. Okay? So that's how I would use something like this. So it looks like we have several pages of the index. Ooh, 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 ooh. I tell you, all of this totally puts me in mind of like back to school. Okay, so that's how they did that. Okay, so on the last page of the index, you're gonna have your first page of vocabulary. Y'all, especially when we're reading theory, especially in graduate school. I remember when I was in graduate school and I would read theory things for the first time, I was so lost sometimes with words. She gives us several pages of vocabulary word sheets. again, I would write the full source citation at the top. Up here, next to the word vocabulary, I would write my full source citation up here. And then you have a place to write the word and the definition. Now, if the definition fits in this little spot, go for your life. If not, I would put the definition over here. What I would put over here next to this space is where I saw this definition. So like, for example, my students just read Andre Brock's Distributed Blackness, which I have a copy of somewhere else. Anywho, I just taught it. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so my students just read this for class this week. All right, so when I read this book, I have a digital copy of this book as well. My digital copy is fully highlighted. My print copy is not. But in here, one of the things that I love about Andre Brock is the way that he writes. He provides a lot of definitions. So I'm trying to find where he defines ratchet. Okay, I can't necessarily find it, but he has here on page 126 where he talks about the libidinal economy, and but earlier, I think, than this, or maybe it's later than this, he defines sort of what it means to, like, his understanding of ratchet. But what I would do if I had never seen that word before is I would pull that definition, his definition from the book, right? Write that here. And then what I would probably write it here if I could fit it in here. I would write it here, right? So I would write the word here, the definition here. And then I would probably go, and I did this a lot when I was in graduate school, I would go and I would look up like the Oxford English Dictionary definition of words and put that here too. So I would just write OED and then write the definition. So I would have the definition from the book and then the definition from the dictionary. That can help you so much with learning words when you're reading scholarship for the first time. Because as scholars, we will often not redefine a word necessarily, but add a definition to the word, right? And the reason why I say not redefine is because we're not changing the meaning. We're often adding new meaning to a word, right? To sort of new definitional thickness, if you will. And so that's why I would write both the dictionary definition and the scholar's definition for a word. Okay, so that is how I would use these vocabulary sheets. And I think that's the end of our bundle. Oh no, there's one more section. Okay, so we have a few vocabulary sheets. So the end of our bundle, it looks like, is a wish list. And who doesn't love a wish list as a reader? Like, come on. So we have at the top, it says title, author, genre, format, source, and then a place to check it off when you finally get it, right? I would use this wish list not just for the books that I want to buy. I probably would not use it for the ones that I want to buy. I would probably use it for the ones I want to read. Okay? But that is that. Alrighty, so that is our whole bundle. I'm so excited about this. So here we go with our little setup. So I will link in the description below. These are just regular Happy Planner metal discs, gold discs. I just had some extras. Okay, so we have our notebook. This is gonna be my new research notebook. So I'm still gonna keep my current research projects in my planner, and keep my list of my research projects in my planner. But I noticed lately that I'm not keeping my research notes in my planner, and I don't know why. I think it's because I just have so many things going on as an administrator that the notes that I'm really keeping in my planner are my administrator notes, like meeting notes, for committee meetings and things like that, projects and stuff like that. But I'm not really keeping my research reading notes in there. And so I was like, okay, I still love reaching for a notebook though to write just when I'm reading a book, right? Like I love having like my notebook and my book, right? And I want to go and sit outside, or I want to go, somewhere and just read my book and take my notes. And that's it. And I don't want anything else. And so knowing that we were going to get this Bibliophile bundle, I decided, excellent reason, to go ahead and set up a reading notebook. So I absolutely love this already. I am already excited about this. It's a little silly. But what I'm going to do is I am going to add this dashboard back here. And I'm going to add this back here for the notes section that just kind of separates the bundle from like the general notes. Ooh. So as always, we have our plastic card for the month. So it's Sunday start. And then we have some journaling cards. Look at that. So that is two-sided. It's white. I am surprisingly. Oh, I need some help. So it's soundness of mind characterized by moderation, self-control, and prudence. Okay, like that. And then this one says, in the case of good books, the point is not to see how many of them you can get through, but how many can get through you, by Mortimer Adler. And that is just a cream colored card. And then this card just says annotation, and it says increase engagement with content, helps you read actively and avoid skimming, builds a better understanding of a book and author, helps you to remember information and your reaction, creates a guide for future reference. So true. And then at the bottom, you have where it says marking, highlighting, noting, drawing, journaling. So those are all methods of annotation. All right, I love that. Oh, I think I like that better. I think I like that better. Okay, yeah, I like that better. All right, so that is it for our unboxing for this box. So we set up our reading notebook. I'm so excited about this. Now, y'all, the next time y'all see this on screen, you may see it with some different rings, because I don't know. I can't decide if I don't know. There may be different rings though. But we have also our page flags. We have our sticky notes, journaling cards, our little bag, which I'm so excited about this, you guys, because, again, who doesn't love a pencil bag, a notebook, and a book? Like, I feel like I should go find myself someplace to read. And then we have the October calendar as part of this bundle. So I love this box. I'm so thrilled that we got a reading themed box. I know exactly how I want to use all the bundle parts, which is a first for me. I never, ever, ever know that when I'm looking at these bundles. Some of these bundles, I'm just like, I don't know how or when or if I would ever use that. So I'm really excited. I'm so excited to use this little notebook, y'all. I can't even tell you. So I hope that you enjoyed this video with me, this unboxing of the August cloth and paper sub box. Comment down below if you have questions or whatever about how I end up using the reading bundle. And then, of course, always hit the like, subscribe, notification buttons so that you'll know whenever I have new content. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great week, and enjoy the bounty of your plans. Bye, everybody.